Welcome to the Dallas Duo podcast,
your weekly wellness coffee date.
We're friends in Dallas, always looking for the best ways to optimize our health
and have fun along the way.
To give people background, Expo West happens once a year. It's the world's largest food trade show in like healthy and organic and natural products. So it covers like food, also supplements, and then some like body products too. So there were over 3,000 brands and around like 65,000 people over a 3-day period. I think 3.5. I only went for 2 days. Do you want to kick off today with my Expo West experience and food trends? I feel like
Yes.
this is trending right now.
Well, I think it's the perfect time because you are fresh off of your trip, especially because you have so many great samples and you had so many great interactions that I think that it's perfect timing. So what stood out to you the most this time?
This year, there were definitely some trends. We'll have to link some of the like details in the show notes. My favorite brand, and this was actually something I saw on social as I was flying there, but there's a brand called Dates. Dates are trending again, which I'm so excited about, like Medjool dates in general. People are using dates in their products, but there's just more just in general, like chocolate covered dates, stuffed dates. And there was a brand who hired a bunch of male models and tattooed QR codes and barcodes on their chest and had them walk around at one of the trade show happy hours instead of paying for an Expo West booth. But it got so much attention. I mean, it was so well thought out. Expo West is super expensive. The smallest booth you can get is $2,000, which is like a couple hours. But most people pay anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000 just for their build out of their booth, which seems insane. Wow. So like if you're a small brand, that is no easy feat for something that could potentially get you in stores and like meet buyers and brokers, which is the majority of the population, but like maybe not actually. So this brand, I thought this was so innovative. Like this happy hour was really well attended, and they just sent their beautiful oily models into the crowd with their dates that they were serving on a platter and the QR code to learn more. And I'm like, dang, that is such a good idea.
And amidst, all the booths, I mean, that's probably spread out so much. And also it's like somewhat interactive. So I've never been, obviously, and you've been like 4 or 5 times now?
Yeah, I think this was my fourth time.
Okay, so I was wondering, so who goes to Expo West? Like, is it
Good
mostly
question.
buyers?
Yeah. So the number one reason for the most part that brands go is that they're looking to get picked up by another buyer. So we're talking about like Whole Foods, Kroger, Tom Thumb, all the major groceries, the major brands that they're looking to connect with. And it's also smaller people. So like I came back on the plane with a gal who owns a bunch of health convenience stores in Jersey. So people who have storefronts and have product on their shelves will come. Everything from like fitness studios or gyms to big buyers like Whole Foods. Okay. And so there's a big mix of buyers, but there's also brokers and there's also like VC groups who come who are looking to invest in new products like that work in CPG, commercial packaged goods. And then there's a mix of healthcare professionals. And that is like a, latest, greatest trends, trying to see what's on the market, clients are going to be talking about or patients be talking about this year. And then we also see a bunch of media. So everything from like media influencers to also like food writers. So like Food and Wine, Delish, Eating Well. You'll read articles like in the next couple months, of like what are the 2026 food trends? Well, a lot of that comes from events like Expo where they're seeing, all those brands in one place and you get a sense of like what's coming this year.
Okay.
So it's not open to the public.
Okay. That's what I was going to say. So you have to have either like a media credential or like a brand, some sort of credential.
Yeah. So you have to come with a media group, or there is a new influencer route. So I think if you have like 30,000 followers or more, or if you have a pretty robust blog, you can submit that. And there's a like limited number of social media creators that can come. And then New Hope Network, who kind of sponsors it, will work with those creators to do content like throughout the show.
Okay.
And then it's mostly brands, and brands will hand out badges to individuals to like help them at their booth. So I've gone with a brand before and helped them at their booth, which is really fun. This year, I just bought a health practitioner pass.
I could see how it would be so worth it then, because you're really getting like a sneak peek at what's coming, and the networking and all of that I think would be great as well, especially for someone like yourself.
I feel like it's a little bit like speed dating or like maybe like Love is Blind in the fact that there are so many times at Expo West when you're next to somebody in like a crowd of people and you have a conversation and you have no idea who you're talking to. And that person could be like a really um
Influential buyer.
pivotal,
Yeah.
really influential or really like pivotal person like in your I actually was complaining about our podcast like having like tweaks and irks and platforms and whatever. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, podcasts are so much harder than people realize." To this guy, and he is the right-hand man for Rachel Ray and has been on her
Oh.
show with her for the past 25 years and
Uh-huh.
has a podcast
Oh.
and produces them and just was like willing to stand there and like give me recommendations and feedback and his card. And I was like,
Yours?
what? Like, how did this just happen? You know?
Yeah.
So there is some really cool, like stranger synergy, like opportunities that happen that I
Mhm.
love that I feel like kind of makes it fun to go because you never know who you're going to meet.
That's awesome. Well, and I'm also very curious because I feel like just as a consumer, you're seeing protein is in everything, right? Protein is in every single product. It seems like it's being
Yeah.
added or incorporated. So we're seeing that already. Is that trend continuing? Did you see more of that?
Yeah, protein and specifically clear protein and
Okay.
then sour flavors. Sour flavors and clear protein were really big. A
Okay.
lot of the more like fitness focused brands, like Built Bar launched a sour flavored protein bar. I think that was probably the most hated product of Expo. So my husband loves a Built Bar. Like they are like a glorified marshmallow with whey protein in them. But you know, I bring him back free samples every year, and
Yeah.
this time no samples were brought back for that
Okay.
sample. But like I did see a lot of creatine and a lot of creatine paired with HCl for better absorption. People talking about like a little like focusing more on gut health, essentially, like better absorption, more concentration. The protein is still trending. David Bar releasing their new
Oh, the
ice
bronze
cream.
ice cream. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, David Barr's come out with ice cream. I actually did not see their booth, but they did a bunch of trucks that were going by Expo West that had this really eerie looking beefed up cow on it that had a protein ice cream next to it. It's kind of like the revolution again of like Halo Top ice cream. I feel like
Mm,
we've shifted back to skinny culture and protein and everything. So that was definitely present.
yeah.
But and a lot of whey protein, a lot of whey protein and a lot of milk protein. Like I even got a sample of the Cadoots crackers from Rachel Mansfield, and the third ingredient is milk protein. And I was like, wow, this is really making a comeback. Like milk, whey,
Uh-huh.
not a lot of plant-based protein. Like I feel like had been a bigger trend in the past.
Yeah, because I feel like you were seeing plant-based protein in a lot of different things, and now we're back to
Yeah.
and milk.
Which, like, there was a lot of plant-based in terms of fiber. I felt like protein and fiber were competing at Expo West. Like, if
Mm.
it wasn't protein, it was probably fiber. And
Yeah.
there were some like, there's a company called Simply or Eat
Okay.
Simply, and they do beans. And they had, like, a dense bean salad, and there was, like, a lot of edamame, like, crunchy, roasted, different snack pack availabilities. And so there was, like, plant protein, but not in a powdered form, like, very
Okay.
much like whole food, real food sources of plant-based
Okay.
protein. But again, more so from, like, the fiber aspect. There was actually
Okay.
these guys, it's called Lentiful. They're it's instant lentils, but it's like again, it says 12 grams of protein, but it's 7 grams of fiber per serving.
Wow.
I thought was really cool. So like just again, like convenience still reigns, but it was like a battle of like, is it convenience fiber or is it convenience protein?
That's so interesting. Do you feel like brands and just like food companies in general are doing a better job of keeping it like whole food ingredients and not as much additives or like additives that you wouldn't want?
That's such a good question. I think that for the most part, I felt like there was a lot less prevalence of sugar alcohols.
Okay.
Like, part of me wondered, like, was I avoiding the brands that I knew would have sugar alcohols? So I didn't see as much, you know,
Yeah.
did I naturally like curate that? But in general, I felt like there is a increased usage of sugar again in the forms of like honey, maple syrup,
Mm.
like unrefined coconut sugar. But I felt like in general, people are using like caloric sweeteners again. Like they're not using a Splenda or a sucralose
Or monk
or
fruit, like
a maltitol or and like I think that stevia and monk fruit are still like present, still in that mix, but definitely less use of like xylitol, sucralose, like the non-nutritional sweeteners, like the ones that we find at the coffee shop, like the yellow and the pink containers. I saw a lot less of that. And I was actually surprised. I didn't see as much allulose. I feel like allulose was really trendy for a while, like especially in like the CGM groups of people knowing that it doesn't spike blood sugar. And I felt like there was less of that. So I don't know, it was just kind of
yeah.
interesting. But there was a lot of like new beverages. And I think that's the place that if they were prevalent, that would be the place. Like a lot of canned coffee, canned oat milk coffee, canned matcha, prebiotic drinks, like a lot of gut healthy things. And I think that's
Okay.
usually where like the sweeteners get interesting. So I'll be interested to see looking more closely. I didn't bring home a lot of drinks because I took carry on. So I felt
Yeah.
like I wasn't looking at those as much, but that will be an area I think that'll be interesting to check.
Yeah, because I heard that I forget which is it Bear Bells that has the clear protein sparkling drink? I haven't tried it yet. Have you?
I have not tried it.
Were there more of that type of beverage that you saw there or not really?
Yes. So, funny story. There is a company called Drinkway, WAAY, and it's like everywhere. It's like this hot pink and yellow covered colored drink. They had reached out to me a couple months ago saying, like, hey, can we send you product? And I had an event coming up. So I took it to that event. And then I had an NBC segment on protein. And so I was like, hey, I messaged them thinking that they're like a new small mom and pop company. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go on TV. You guys will be on the segment. Like, here's the link if you want to watch. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. I found out when I was at the show, thanks to me living in a bubble, that Drinkway is Morgan Zanotti's project, who's the founder behind Primal Kitchen.
Okay.
So she sold Primal Kitchen with Mark Sisson, and she was really like the female behind
Yes,
Primal Kitchen.
I've heard her being interviewed on The Skinny Confidential. So I
Yeah, like
heard her
he
story.
was like, you know, the face and she was like the business. So they had Drinkway set up as like a little pop-up at Primal Kitchen. And me living in a bubble was so confused. Like, why is this here?
Yeah.
And then I realized I have been voice memoing the founder of Primal Kitchen for the past couple months, thinking that it was like this little
A little startup.
gal who had started this little startup, not a small startup. But I think that she really jumped on the clear protein train like right when it went hot because there were so much like Drink Koya, I think has one. Clean Simple Eats has one. Just Ingredients has one. Like everybody is launching a clear protein drink. And I feel like she definitely started that wave.
Okay. That's so interesting. What about like as far as protein, were you seeing any like new jerky sticks or like any of that type of like new protein?
Okay, so I have all
Oh,
this.
yay. Since they're a favorite. I mean, I
So
had to
okay,
ask.
so this is such a good segue. So I went to the new Primal booth and we can share this now. Noble Made is phasing out. So Andre and I have bought most of the stock from Thrive Market, but I'm urging for those of you that love barbecue sauce, specifically the ones from the new Primal, their Noble Made line, they are phasing out quietly, maybe not so quietly anymore. And
Yeah.
we bought most of their product, but good luck. Andre and I bought like 17. So your package came in and I have it here.
Yay. Okay. Yeah. We did some research because I was like, hey, have you seen that barbecue sauce? I can't find it anywhere. And so we were like, we did some deep digging
Legit the best.
and we found it on Thrive. So if anyone's looking, there might still be some. I don't know.
Yeah, Amazon is sold out. It's not going to be a ticket for you. But like in jerky, so the new Primal is launching 10 packs of the rotisserie chicken at Target
Hmm.
nationwide and their chicken line. And then I got like Archer and Larissa's Kitchen. There was a really big push of chicken jerky this year versus
Oh,
beef. Now, I personally think it's probably from a cost perspective. I think chicken is like easier to get and it's cheaper, but I saw a lot more chicken this year than I did beef.
okay.
And then did I can never pronounce it. Is it Katoyas? Coyotas? Coyotas.
Toyotas?
They make like tortillas like
Oh,
siete.
yes. Yes.
People are obsessed with them. People think that they have a better texture. So they launched, I actually tried their tortilla. They put like guacamole inside, and that was probably like the healthiest real food thing I had for a while at Expo.
So is it a
It was
gluten-free
like,
tortilla or is it?
yeah, yep. So it's just like it's a grain free option, just like
Okay.
a siete cassava tortilla, but they're launching chips And that was a really big hit with people like thick restaurant style grain free chips.
Okay.
Very different than a Siete chip, like heartier.
Okay.
But Siete launched a gluten-free sourdough tortilla, and it's, like,
Oh,
flexible and really cool, like, no one has done that.
okay. Okay, siete. That sounds so good. Wow.
So, like, again, like, they have, like, the new dessert cookie, and they had some of, like, their salsas out, but, like, they're known for their tortillas, so I'm really excited because I feel like sourdough actually wasn't as prevalent as I expected, but to see, like, a gluten-free sourdough tortilla, I was like, "Whoa," like, this is very innovative, like,
Yeah.
I was excited.
Was Queen Street there as well with their sourdough?
Queen Street was there, so funny story, their social media manager is a dietitian.
Oh, okay.
But she is a dietitian in Canada, and so, like, the rules are a little bit different. So,
Okay.
I've always loved talking to her, but they have their, like, thick sourdough gluten-free bread, which I feel like, again, is so good, and it feels, like, very I don't know, I feel like it tastes like very authentic sourdough to me, like,
I
I
thought it
love
did
it.
too. They sent me a PR box and that's probably the best gluten-free sourdough that I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, it was really good. And the slices were substantial enough because sometimes it's like
Yes.
they're so
I know.
little and these were like, okay,
They're
like
like micro loaves.
out of
Yeah.
the yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, usually gluten-free sourdough comes in like a very small loaf, and I'm like, "This is great for my 2-year-old." But they had their thick and hearty loaves they were handing out, and she said
Okay.
that they are not really doing any more innovation right now. They're really focused on the sourdough launch, but I do think they might be doing like a sourdough English muffin maybe? There's something
Oh,
else, like,
okay.
coming out, but I love their product. I feel like it has made me really like bread again after being, like, so scarred by gluten-free bread.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like their bagels are really good
Oh
too.
my gosh,
Like,
the bagels are so
and
good.
they have a good amount of fiber in them.
I mean, James eats like half with nut butter, like almost every morning with his eggs. And I'm like, this is my child's like daily fiber dosage, which
Yeah.
hot tip, like if you haven't been giving your son fiber, like don't give him a whole one. 'Cause he'll be backed up for days. Like the dose makes the poison. But my child is used to eating a lot of fiber. And I love the fact that that's like a good go to for the morning.
Well, I was watching your stories, of course, because I was like, FOMO, but I also saw that Super Gut, which you introduced me to, had a
Yeah.
really cool booth. And so I was just wondering, like, is
Oh
there
my
anything
gosh.
new coming from them? Or maybe you want to say a little
Yes.
something about it?
So
Because that's a product that I really like. Like, I use it almost daily now.
so they're starting to come off, but they had these bags that you could get like standard press on. So I had a poop emoji
That's so
and
cute.
the green banana emoji 'cause it's full of prebiotic
I
fiber, and then I
know.
had a little super gut scoop, but it's worn its time. Um, there was actually a lady in front of me who didn't know what the poop emoji was, and so she was asking the girl what it was, and the girl held a straight face, and I was so proud of her. She's like, "That's poop." I was like, "Cool."
I don't think I could have held a straight face.
It was so funny. They had, like, the coolest booth set up. They were doing samples, and they had, like, a toilet you could sit on and take photos, which sounds weird, but it's totally Expo West. And then
Yeah.
they had their press-on station. But I think that they're not innovating anything new. They just had their standard product line,
Okay.
which, like, if you don't know, they have a, prebiotic fiber that supports, like, your natural GLP-1 in your gut. So there are bacterial strains in your gut that when they're supported and increase kind of support natural GLP-1 hormone because it's something that our body naturally produces.
Mhm.
And it also helps build Akkermansia, which is a probiotic strain that's in our gut that helps to improve metabolic health. So they have like different lines. They have an unflavored, they have a flavored, but I love it. I feel like it's like the new age Metamucil a little bit
Yeah.
as a way to get fiber and a way to support gut health. And gut health was definitely trending. And so I felt like their booth was very popular.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it's the dark green canister that I think it's the
Yeah, like
foundational
the
one,
original.
unflavored. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it mixes very well with everything. So I feel like that's a good go-to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not chalky, it just like dissolves really easily.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
What were you seeing a lot in terms of like dessert type things? Like other like you said the ice
mm,
cream, but
there okay, so I think like in terms of dessert, two things. One, like dates. French Squirrel makes like a really artisan, they make like artisan nut butters, but
Mhm.
this one is like has date pieces swirled in it. Dates are just trending. They also had these like dark chocolate covered dates that had nut butter inside. And the
Ooh.
girl offered me a sample and I thought that she was going to give me like a quarter. She gave me a whole date and it was
One.
huge. And I was trying to like chew it while having a conversation. And it was very much like that scene in like so many movies where you're like, you like spit it out while no one's looking so you can finish the conversation.
Yes.
But I mean, it was just like so decadent. There was like sea salt and it felt like something that I could make at home. So I felt
Wow.
like dates were definitely making a comeback in that. And then there were quite a few of like popsicles. I felt like there was a protein, like Good Pop was
Mm,
there. There was a couple like protein popsicles, like creamy options that were coming out. And so that also showed up quite a bit.
yeah.
And then Abe's, for anybody who's like an allergen friendly family, Abe's is like the one you see at like Sprouts. It's like the top
The drop.
7 allergens.
Yeah.
They actually don't have a lot of gluten free, which is really hard. So I'm
Oh,
like, oh, it's all the other allergens. They're launching like 2 gluten free flavors. So I'm super
oh.
excited. They have like a pumpkin and a lemon, I think.
Okay. So like breads?
So that was cool. They're like mini birthday cake muffins, like
Okay.
mini blueberry muffins. Like they're like the perfect kind of like pick up as a room bomb for like your kids'
Mm,
party. And they're super cute packaging. And then the dessert that was trending was definitely Krispies.
okay.
BTR is launching a superfood crispy that is 7 grams of fiber, only sweetened with honey, and it's gonna be at Sprouts this
Oh,
summer in their innovation section for 3 months.
okay.
And then Little Bucks also released a Rice Krispie
Okay.
and one other person, but I felt like this, like the nostalgic treats of the
Yes.
90s were coming back really strong.
Okay.
And Rice Krispie hasn't really been done. So that was kind of
Yeah.
cool to see.
Well, I've even seen like on Instagram. I mean, we'll get more into this in our like what's on our feed, but I keep seeing like a Rice Krispie bowl. So maybe there is something about like the Rice Krispie.
Yes. Well, and like real cereal, like the real cereal is a cereal brand that brought back like OG Rice Krispies without sweetener
Oh,
and they were there. And I feel like other companies are starting to notice and are kind of pushing into that arena too.
okay. That's so cool. Well, and I think I'm glad that dates are trending again because I have over 20 recipes on the blog. I need to like pull
I
some of.
cannot believe there's that many on there with dates. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I had a
That's
yearly
crazy.
tracked, or it was over a year, and I would do a recipe a month. So
Yeah, like monthly content, right? Yeah.
I have quite a few. Did you see anything else with like cottage cheese? Because I feel like cottage cheese was good
Okay,
culture there.
yes.
Anything?
Good culture was there, but like not anything fancy that I saw. And again, like I can't do dairy. And so I kind of felt like
Yeah.
I was having FOMO. But there was a brand that had like a whipped cottage cheese in dips.
Oh,
Like there were different dips that were launching, almost like a hummus, but it was whipped cottage cheese. And then there was a company that makes cottage cheese pizza crust, and they
mhm.
were there. And then all of the like OG cottage cheese groups were there. And then Lundberg Farms was sampling their rice cakes and they were doing like rice cakes with cottage cheese on top and everything with the bagel seasoning. I was cracking up. I was like, can I get one with hummus?
Yeah. You're like, shoot.
Su- It was super random. It was super random. I mean, like, I know that's a trend, like toast with cottage cheese on top, but I definitely haven't gotten into that. So,
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I hadn't eaten it in years. And I mean, in the last few years, I've picked it up again, but it's so nice because it's so protein rich. If you can handle dairy, like it's such a good option.
yeah, that was good. Um, a couple of the other themes. Okay, so there was quite a bit of seaweed. I
Mm,
felt like this is seaweed topping, like it's supposed to be like a salad topper.
okay.
And so I felt like there was more seaweed innovation, like seaweed chips. There was some like sea moss in like drinks, but more of that flavor profile was present. So that was kind of interesting to see.
Especially because, it's nice to have something crunchy for your salad. So it's nice to have a crouton alternative.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I feel like there's so many things that I just like still haven't tried that I grab, but I was like, oh, we'll like try that and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Definitely like a lot of things for kids. And I feel like I always go back and forth. Like there were not a lot of even like a lot of greenwashing, but like a lot of products that like are healthier swaps, but maybe still not like the healthiest. Like I feel like there were things that were like organic and gluten free, but still had like quite a bit of added sugar where I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like I still would be like really careful about reading labels. Like Seven Sundays came out with like a peanut butter puff cereal. So much, very
Oh,
much like the Reese's Pieces style, like puffs.
yeah.
And I think like Puffins makes one right now. and it was delicious, but it also had added sugar. And so I
Mm.
was like, okay, this is like better. This is a little bit cleaner,
Yeah.
but it's still added sugar. So there was a lot of like that checking in. By the end of the week, I was like, wow, I have eaten way more sugar than I have in a
Yeah.
long time just because it all adds up.
And it also makes you think of like, well, this is good, but there might be something better. Well,
Exactly. There was a company that just launched that's definitely on my radar. They're called Lasso and they make high
yeah.
protein jello. So it's like jello made
Oh,
of gelatin. Like gelatin is high protein usually because it's collagen, but they just are using like enough of the gelatin for it to actually be high protein.
okay.
It was so good. Like it was like high protein jello. I mean, I
Oh,
loved jello jigglers as a kid and they had made little like spheres for people to try and they
yeah.
were awesome. I was like, this is cool.
So was it like fruity flavors then, like
Yeah.
traditional jello?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow,
It was
that's
so cool.
cool. What brand was that?
Lasso. So like the owner had like a full Western outfit on. It was super cute.
Oh, cute. That's really cute branding. I bet that's part of the fun of it too, is just seeing like what people are doing with their
Oh
packaging
my
and
gosh.
all of that.
Yes. So I mean that is the one part is like I got to hang out with BTR. I'm like an investor and I sit on their board and we all had bedazzled jackets that said BTR
Oh,
Nation and
cute.
we got voted best dressed because there was
Oh, I
like
love
five of
that.
us with our like bedazzled 90s outfits on all day. It was so freaking cute.
I love
And a lot of people like dressed up and had cute branding. Like the Soli booth had these cute track jackets that had like little fruit emblems all over. It was just like very cute.
that's awesome. Well, I'm excited about the Rice Krispie bar from BTR
Oh my
because
gosh, me too.
yeah, because I tried the ones from Magic Spoon that came out like last year and
I heard they're so bad.
they were bad and they were expensive. They were so expensive. We just bought them like on a whim and I was like, "Oh, that was such a waste of money." But I'm excited to see
Yeah.
that because also I really loved their Valentine's Day hearts that they did.
Oh
The
my gosh, they're
chocolate
so good. Yeah,
dark
they're
chocolate almond
so
butter.
good.
I was like, "Please make these year round. They're so good."
I think that I'm almost positive that they're staying in Whole Foods nationwide. That was just
Wow.
packaging for Valentine's Day,
For
but they'll
Valentine's.
continue with the regular branding moving forward because it did so well. Um,
Yeah, because that was
yeah, I think
also date sweetened chocolate, right? That was
yes, it is
in that
date sweetened
too.
chocolate. Mhm. Yeah,
Those are so
yeah.
good.
The other dessert that I tried that I don't know why it took me so long to try them because he's friends with Ashley, is a company called Lexington Bakes, and they're at Central Market, like by Midday Squares, like in the refrigerated section.
Okay.
And they're these oat bars, and he'll do collabs though with like BTR or like One Trick Pony peanut butter or Artisana. And so it's like
Okay.
oats, nut butter, chocolate, and like sea salt, just kind of like four or five ingredients. And they're like a little oat square thing. The peanut butter chocolate one won some award this year. I tried it and it was like mind blowing. Like it was like peanut butter, chocolate, oat, and sea salt, but like not overwhelming. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like a must try. And they're just tiny. They're like the perfect like little dessert that I can like split with my child and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, like couple bites, just like a little sweet
I
treat.
brought one home and I brought three home and I gave Chase one and myself two. And I was like, the rest are for me. I'm
That
not
sounds
sharing.
so good. Okay, so what I have to ask, what was your favorite piece of swag that you brought back?
Okay, so I don't have it here, but Superget gave me a Expo West survival pack, and it was like a little fanny pack, and it had like poopery and body wipes and deodorant and like Evian like face spray
Oh,
and a phone charger and a toothbrush with like a floss. And I was like, this is somebody who knows how this conference works.
yes.
Um,
Oh, that's perfect.
that
That's so
was
cute.
yeah, and then I got, a hat, like a snapback hat, because that's, like, what my husband wears from the new Primal, because apparently that's the only thing that Jason likes, and so I got, like, a
Yes.
new Primal hat, so that was pretty cool. And I mean, like, the bags everybody who does bags does really cute
Yeah.
designs, but somebody was giving out a bag that looked like is it, like, Gucci bag or, like, Louis Vuitton? I don't know, it, like, looks like that, but, like, in their print,
Oh,
and they were
cute.
doing, like, limited edition drops. People do this to, like, come to our booth, like, "You can't have a bag unless you, like, follow us," or "You can't
Mhm.
have a bag unless you post about us," and it was,
Okay.
like, a really cool idea. They had some really cool stuff.
How fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like
So,
Fast and
always
Furious,
something
right?
crazy.
Because you were just there for like 2 days.
It was insane. I was there for, like, 36 hours and then only took carry-on. I did get to meet Justin, the founder of Justin's Peanut Butter, like, in a
Oh,
just
that's so
one-on-one conversation. That was super cool. He looks like Tarzan. Um, and then I met Dr. Jessica Nurek, who's, like, my idol, incredible dietitian researcher.
that's awesome.
And she was referred to me to follow by Melissa Urban. And I didn't see Melissa Urban, but she was like right behind me the whole time. Like we were like 100 feet from each other the
And you're
entire
like
time,
just
but I
in the
never saw her.
crowd, so it's probably hard to like
Yeah,
backtrack.
it's insane. Yes, exactly. I'm like, I don't know where you are, but you're here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
thank
funny.
you for sharing, giving us the scoop of what's to come and all the fun things to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. It gives me a good idea of like what brands are growing, and it's always a good reminder. Being there reminds me how much money is behind some of the bigger companies. It's just like such a good reminder. Like companies like Vital Protein, Garden of Life, Chobani. There's like bigger and smaller sections of Expo, and they were in like the 100K plus build out area, and you just know it's such a good reminder of like what companies are actually small businesses versus which ones aren't, like if that matters to you. And so it always gives me a good perspective of like these companies are like furiously growing at a fast rate.
Yeah.
Like True Labs had like the biggest build out I've ever seen. A new company called Love that like one of the founders of Vital Proteins, I think, left to open. But it's just like crazy to see how much money is in the food industry and like how they're spending it at these events.
Well, yeah, and
So
their marketing budget, which yeah, you wonder like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like when you reach out to brands, and not to say that like everybody has like an influencer budget or everybody wants to do media, but when you reach out to a brand, they're like, we don't have any budget. And I'm like, well, you did,
You had a
but
huge
you
booth at
spent
Expo.
it. But you
Spend it
spent
in
it
other
all.
ways.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it was always funny.
Well, oh, and be sure to check out Whitney's reel. You did a reel, right? We can link that.
Yeah, I did like I think like 2 or 3 different breakdowns of like kids' favorites, what I brought my husband back, a big giveaway, and then I think I'm gonna do like one more breakdown of like some of my favorites, but it kind of takes a while to go through everything. Like I need to be able to try everything and decide before I post like what my favorites were.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes you a while to do all your samples.
Exactly. Exactly.
All
So
right. Well, thank you for
awesome.
joining us, and we'll have more